You want to play epic guitar solos with the pentatonic scale but have no idea where to start. In over 10 years of teaching, I've built a complete step-by-step method to help my students learn faster, have more fun and avoid the classic mistakes. So in this video, I'm gonna show you how to learn the pentatonic scale from scratch, help you understand how it works and how to use it in different musical situations. And by the way, if you want to access the tabs and resources from my videos, it's completely free. Click the link in the description. But before we dive into the serious stuff, we have to be on the same page, you and me. The pentatonic scale is freaking cool. You can play rock music, funk, fusion, blues and so on with just 5 tiny notes. Don't know about you, but I think that's awesome. And this is exactly why the pentatonic is the first scale guitarists learn to solo. It's simple, it works and it sounds great. So, now that you've got an extra motivation, grab your guitar and let's get started with level 1, the first pentatonic shape. We'll play it in A minor at the 5th fret from the low E string to the high E string. Each dot here represents a note that you play. So, as you can see, you've got 2 notes per string and 2 different patterns. Here is the first one. First finger, fret 5. Pinky, fret 8. Now you jump to the next string and play the second pattern. First finger, fret 5. Third finger, fret 7. Then 5, 7. Then 5, 7. Then 5, 8. And 5, 8. Let's do this together. Level 1 complete. Level 2 unlocked. But at this point, you're just memorizing shapes and patterns. That's great, but if you want to have more freedom in your playing, that's not enough. You know, if you're just playing a series of dots on the fretboard, it means you do not understand what you're playing. And that's exactly where 99% of guitarists get stuck. So if you want to build good habits from the very beginning, here is what you do. Identify your root note. In level 1, I showed you how to play the pentatonic scale in A minor, but imagine if I ask you to play it in D minor, G minor, F sharp minor. That's where the root note comes in. You can find it here, here, and here. So instead of learning the shape this way, just add red dots to mark the root notes. Easy. Now I'll show you the 2 simple steps to play the pentatonic scale in any key. Step 1, on your fretboard, find the root note of the key you want to play. Step 2, apply the shape. Yeah, easy. So let's take an example. C minor pentatonic. First I have to find the C note on the fretboard. Easy. I've got one here. Then I'll apply the shape. Now it's your turn. Find the G minor pentatonic position 1. Level 2 complete. Level 3 unlocked. Alright, now you've got a better understanding of the pentatonic and you know how to play it in different keys. That's a great start, but there is still one big thing that slows most guitarists down: dexterity. So let's grab your favorite pick and your favorite metronome. When we think about the dexterity, most of us immediately focus on the left hand. But here's the truth. If you ignore your right hand, you'll never reach the effortless, cool flow you're chasing. In the exercise I'm about to show you, we'll focus on both hands and of course of keeping them perfectly synchronized. This is a famous pentatonic pattern. We use alternate picking. Downstroke is represented by this, and upstroke is represented by this. So we'll play down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, and so on. But be careful, you must keep your fingers very close to the fretboard like this, not like that. Because if your movements are too big, you won't actually be training the right muscles or improving your stretch. Plus, it just wastes energy. And by the way, if you'd like to practice this, you can access the tab in the link in the description. It's free. Level 3 complete. Level 4 unlocked. At this stage, you're ready to experiment with backing tracks and play around with notes. But let's be honest, just playing random notes won't stay fun for long. That's why it's time to learn your very first licks. Playing guitar is just like learning a language, like French. Think about it. How did you learn French? You did not, but I did, and it wasn't easy. Never mind, when you learned English, you did the same thing I did when I learned French, by listening and repeating. At first, you were just repeating phrases you'd heard, but over time, you could create your own sentences and express yourself with more and more freedom. Well, soloing works the exact same way. First, you learn some cool licks. Then, little by little, you'll build your own. So to get you started, I'll share 3 very easy licks you can play right now that you can transform and make your own as you keep learning. Level 4 complete. Level 5 unlocked. Yes, I told you those licks are simple. They don't use any flashy techniques yet. So let's spice them up by adding 3 main techniques that will make your solos come alive. First, bending. Use the blues position, placing your thumb here on the neck. Then use your wrist to push the string. Use 3 fingers together to add strength and aim to hit the target note very quickly. If your movement is too slow, it will never sound good in a solo. Now check out the first pentatonic shape and notice the sweet spots where bends sounds great, like here and here or here. Then hammer on. You can use both left hand position, classical and blues. But for your very first hammer-ons, I recommend the classic one. It gives you more strength and a better range of motion. Think of it exactly like a hammer striking. Aim for impact. And use the fingertip. That way you won't accidentally hit other strings. Again, check out the first pentatonic shape and find spots for hammer, like here and here. Finally, sliding. Now, think of sliding as aiming at a target. You're not just moving, you're shooting for the next note. Look at the fret you're aiming for before you slide. I really recommend experimenting with this one. Try different finger angles, different speeds, and copy phrases you like from songs. So refer back to the first pentatonic shape and look for spots where sliding feels natural, then use them to bring more expression into your improvisation. Level 5 complete. Level 6 unlocked. So far, we've focused only on the pentatonic position 1. It's the first shape you learn because it's easy, it sounds great, and a ton of legendary licks are built from it. But here's the problem. If you stick to just that, you'll never feel free on the fretboard. From my experience with students, I can promise you this. Once you've got the basics down, and that will happen faster than you think, you'll hit that wall. You'll experience the frustrating sense of being trapped, like you're just looping the same pentatonic ideas over and over. And that's why I recommend learning the other positions as soon as possible. The sooner you get them down, the easier they will stick in your memory. But here is the catch. Many guitarists do this wrong and get completely stuck. If you'd like to learn the pentatonic scale across the whole neck in just 30 days, go watch this video. I'll give you the full roadmap and reveal the mistakes to avoid.